Ni hao, it's just Stephanie. Okay, so the very dramatic, sorry, that's me pushing my chair in, the very dramatic sounds that you hear music-wise right now are not me, they're not intentional at all. They're my neighbor. He's apparently got a recital coming up because he is pounding away at the keyboard. And I get that, kind of. Anyway, hi there, welcome back to Changing Scripts. I have so much to report, I'm so excited. I'm starting to feel like sometimes I might confide in you and then I don't tell you the good stuff the good stuffs? The good stuff that comes from me unleashing the awful stagnation that I experience sometimes with language learning. And I do want to make sure to share the good and the bad of what is happening with my brain. Oh yeah, so let's do the good. Let's do the good. Do you remember this puppy from like 2 days ago? Look at that! I've written all over it. So a few days ago I did a video explaining, like I was trying to figure out, is this language guilt, sort of like gym guilt? Is this language learning guilt? Or is this just frustration? Is this lack of motivation? Like what was wrong with me? And then almost immediately after I made that video, poof, this huge relief rushed over me, and I started to do stuff. I started to download the Memorize Radical Deck, which I've been meaning to do for ages, which took like 10 seconds. So it was literally just the guilt of not doing work was stopping me from doing the simplest of work. I started to use Skritter, which I'm still iffy on. There's a lot of things in Skritter, so it's almost impossible to ignore them. And I know a bunch of you recommended trying Skritter earlier, just like a lot of you recommended trying Chirm and Bow, but things hit when they hit, and oops, that's not what I wanted to do yet. That's a preview of what's coming up. So things hit when they hit, and in my Sensible Chinese online course, thank you Kyle, I really like this course. Like I can't tell you how much I really like this course. I would say I wish I had taken this course sooner, but I don't think I'd be ready. As is with the course, I'm up to the part where we just talked about the meaning and the phonemic components, and I still feel like I need to go back and listen to that set of lessons a few times, because I get it, structurally I get the left, right, top, bottom, what if there's more than two components within a character. I get that structurally, but when I went to apply it today in a walkabout video that you'll see in a few days once I'm done with post-production, because there's a lot of post-production on that one, once you'll see that, you'll see why it's taken so long, because there's a really big difference between understanding an example that's placed in front of you in a class and seeing it in the wild and trying to decompose the characters that way. So having some fun with characters again. So Memorize, Skritter. I'm doing a few different decks in Memorize actually. I'm not back on my own Anki deck. That language learning monkey still on my back because I haven't finished my own radical deck in Anki, and I will, I swear, after the conference next week, a lot of things will free up mentally. Whoa! Right? Okay. So Skritter, started to use Memorize again. I've been working on the Renee song, just like I outlined a few days ago. And I have 2 lines done there. And I've been watching the videos on my online Sensible Chinese course. So on the day that I started, I did my online course and I did Skritter. The day after that, I did Skritter, Memorize, a line of the Renee song, and actually all of the outlining of the time frame and how much I want to do, and the statistics I want to have, like how many words per line, that kind of thing. I outlined that, so it was more than just that one line, and that's that. So I did those 4 things. Then today, is today only Wednesday? Thursday. Today's Thursday, September 14th, and I did mostly reading in the Sensible Chinese course, because we're leaving the knowledge section, as he's saying it, and we're entering kind of the doing section. I don't forget what he called the doing section, that's my interpretation. So we're going to have a lot more practical homework, not just like understanding the basics of the structure of the language and things like that. So it's going to be a lot more practice, which is awesome. Technically I can stop using Skritter now, but since I started using Skritter late in the course because I was resisting, because I do that, I'm going to keep going because I just signed up for it. So I'm at least going to get my month's worth, and then from there I might keep going. What I did notice in Skritter, oh, let me talk about today first. So I did my Sensible Chinese course. I did Skritter, Memorize, a line in the Renee song, and when I say Renee song, it sounds like Renaissance. Renaissance, like a snooty version of saying Renaissance. Anyway, I don't know. I've had a lot of coffee, and I worked on my conference outline. Oh my God. You know, the title to my conference thing that I'm doing next week at NYU, I just like saying that out loud. It's not actually at NYU. I mean, it's physically at NYU, but it's not by any stretch of the imagination NYU that is inviting me. It's a side presentation that's held there. But I like saying that because New York state of mind. I was born in New York, so it feels like a something. A pat on the back by a state that I barely remember living in. But you know what? Whatever. The heck is the title of my presentation? It's about this channel, this YouTube channel. How meta is that, right? And it's about like the background of it, what I've done with it, and where it's going, and all that kind of stuff. So I need my glasses for this. The title is It's All Personal, Language Vlogging as a Way to Disrupt and Inform Language Learning. And part of that title is ironically academic, and part of it is just me. I have a semicolon, which makes me proud that I got my master's and part of my PhD underway, because you have to semicolon everything in academia. But you can't see the semicolon when I just say it. Or can you? Here, envision the semicolon. Let me read it again. It's all personal, semicolon, language vlogging as a way to disrupt and inform language learning. What do you think? Anyway, so far, I tend to do too many slides, and then I cut back and condense and move things around and then add visuals, and in this case adding videos, which is going to be tricky for me, which is why I'm starting so soon. I don't know, is a week and a half soon to do it's 55 minutes, but there's question and answers, which I'm guessing will be at least 10 to 15 minutes. I hope there'll be questions. So I'm guessing it's at least 40-45 minutes of a presentation, which honestly, given what you've seen of how much I can talk, I could probably have 3 talking points and go for 50 minutes without any slides. But, you know, you want to aid your audience along. And there's a lot of information I want to put in this. There's a lot of information. And this is partly also me thinking through what I want to do with this channel as well. So there's a whole lot invested in this presentation that has nothing to do with my audience. And there's a whole lot of it that is connected to my audience, because I am super curious who's going to be in this audience. Who are you, dear audience, that will be there on the 23rd of September? If you're in around Shanghai, the registration is now open for LanguageCon, which is the conference that I'm talking about at NYU in Pudong. So please, please, please stop by. If you see me, say hi, introduce yourself. I might have some business cards to hand out. I don't know. It depends on how productive I get tomorrow. How much out of my pajamas I get tomorrow or Saturday. I found a place, I think in our neighborhood, that does pretty quick business cards. I'm just not sure I want a business card for my YouTube channel. It seems kind of retro. But then it's nice to hand people something when you meet them, right? Nah. Anyway, how many slides do I have? 26 so far. I have 26 slides for 40 minutes. It's way too much. Way too much. So that'll be condensed. But I always do this. I overwrite and then I edit back. I overwrite and then I edit back. This is my way of thinking. So I wanted to show you in this, basically an update video. I'm back on track. I still don't know where to put this. Right now I'm at home for the next 2 weeks. I'm not traveling until, holy cow, until September 26th. That is literally, it was 2 weeks from when I started this. So it just keeps moving from my desk to the purse, the front of the purse, like I talked about. So it keeps moving back and forth, but I haven't lost it yet, which is very different than the first few times I tried to do this. If you remember correctly, there were a couple of empty ones that stayed, a couple of empty calendars that stayed empty. That sucks. It sucks. Okay, so there was that. There was also the Renee song, which I did a line of. Yesterday I did a line here, and I realized, because I was trying to do squigglies for connecting the Hansa with the pinyin, and then I ended up writing the English below as well, and it just looks awful. And I'm still having spacing issues. I imagine these spacing issues will last quite a while, because I like to have spaces between my words. I can't really tell words in Mandarin yet because I don't really have a lot of words in my vocabulary yet. I'm getting some, thanks to Memrise and Scritter. I'm getting actual words in my vocabulary now, not just radicals. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. But it's going to take me a while. So what I've done, I'm terrified to move this camera around, but let's give it a try. I want to show you what I've done with this. So, bah! You are now seeing the wrong side of the room. Okay, so what I'm showing you here, can you see my finger? Here we go. So I've put spaces in here, and I know this is artificial and this is just a training wheel, but so I have the Hansa on the top. These three purple things are the same line. So I have the Hansa on the top, the pinyin with the tones on the next line, and the English below. And you can see Tiangkong, which I'm saying wrong, is heaven, that's here. Shi is here, that's is. Huise is here, that's gray. And then that one is a particle, so I don't really have the, whatchamacallit, the meaning below, because it's a particle. How do you define particle? I guess I could put it in parentheses, particle, but I've seen this one so many times. Keista is here, that's yet. This one's here and this one's here. So again, let me turn you around again. Hi again. Again, it's just training wheels until, wow, I think my tripod's breaking. Man, oh man. Anyway, it's just training wheels until I get used to the spacing, which I can almost guarantee you will take a really long time. It just will. So that'd be an interesting thing to track, is how long does the spacing take me? How long does the spacing take me to get used to? I don't know. Does it depend on how many characters I learn? After a certain point, I just get much, much better identifying the word, then I'll be able to take the spaces out. Sure. I wonder if there are any graded readers with spacing, extra spacing. That'd be kind of fun, huh? If you could move the text around in the graded readers to be like in these categories, so you could have word by word by word and the characters in the word with the pinyin, and then I don't really want the English in there. I don't even know why I added the English. I want this mostly for pronunciation practice and to identify meaning components versus sound components, but I started to really, really confuse myself when I was working on the sound components with this line. Mostly because, let's see, Tiangkong, that's 2 characters and 2 sounds, although the second sound has 2 radicals, so that, I don't even remember that one. Shu. Yeah, I don't know. I just confused myself. I did a walkabout video today that they'll come out in a few days. I just talked about it. And so I did a lot of trying to identify, looking at characters in the wild and trying to identify if it was one of the characters that had a meaning component and a sound component, or a meaning component, sound component, if it was one of those, what the sounds might be. And I think I did so much of it today that by the time I got to this line tonight, my brain fell out. So it didn't work very well. And a lot of these, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that so much with this song like I thought I would. Art is more poetic than normal language, so even though the sentence isn't super poetic, it's heaven is gray, yet there is sunshine. That's not terribly poetic, but it probably isn't a lot of words that I would use. Like is I would use, there is I would use, yet I would use. Yeah, okay, these are frequent words. I don't know. There was just something that didn't click, and you know what? I'm not pushing it. As long as I can continue to experiment with the meaning and sound component, decomposition or analysis or whatever you want to call it, then that sounds really good to me. But for this line tonight, it just wasn't happening. However, I did do my line of the day. I did a line yesterday, so I'm on track to have part A done within a week, because I'm trying to do a line a week, and I am practicing this singing along with it, and you know what's coming. Okay, here we go. Here's the line. You're allowed to laugh, because I certainly am. Yeah, it's so bad! Oh my god, it's so bad! But you know what? She's so eloquent. I used to make such fun of her. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. If my 2003 self could talk to my 2017 self, I would be mocking me right now going, I can't believe you're intentionally listening to Renee. I used to make fun of her. Holy cow, did she turn into an amazing artist. I had no idea. No idea. All right, this song is from 2008. It's super old, but it's one that I really, really like that I didn't even realize was hers for a really long time. All right, I'm done embarrassing myself for now, but that's where I am now. So by the time I hit the end of part 1, or part A, because it's A, B, C, those are about equal in length, and then D has one line. One line. Which I wonder, can I do that line now? Because there's a lot of repeats in words. Oh heck no, I do not know most of those words. Wow, no, I can't. No, I can't. So yeah, so it should be, by the end of the week I should have part A done, and then I will embarrassingly sing all of part A for you, so we can kind of gauge how my pronunciation gets, hopefully better, as I practice the song more and more and more and more and more. I practiced that one line about 10 times before I started this video. And that's after listening to each word as I put it into pleco to get the meaning and try to do the decomposition of the meaning and the sound component. So there was a lot of input there, and I will continue to listen to the song repeatedly until I sound less goofy about it. I can't fix my voice, but I can hopefully fix my pronunciation with time. So the breakdown on the video the other day worked. I am motivated again. I was even pulling out my phone and doing Scritter and Memorize on the train, on the metro, and I haven't done that in weeks. So whatever language learning monkey was on my back, it's gone, and I'm back to being productive and excited and an active language learning person. Whatever the word I was looking for there goes. So I'm super, super, super relieved. Like you have no idea. Okay, I have to get back to my presentation now because although there are 26 slides, the vast majority of them are empty. All right. Thank you. 谢谢你. Oh boy, I'm going to have to practice that one too. Okay, thank you and goodbye.